everybody. Welcome to the TechRaptor podcast. I'm Robert Scarpanito, your features editor.
And Rotten editor-in-chief.
Andrew Stretch, your holy editor.
Oh man. Oof. Yeah, this is going to be a rough one, huh? Rut isn't here this week. He is off smoking 40 packs of cigarettes, from what I understand.
Yep. He 420 blazed it too hard the other day. And he says he's an old man.
I tried to call him earlier, and he just sounded like the neighbor from Rocco's Modern Life. It was weird.
Oh, man.
He's currently sitting in his bed surrounded by Taco Bell sauce packets.
All of them opened, too, just leaking out all over. This week, we're talking about God of War and Marvel Snap. We are also going to talk about the Bible, so that'll be a lot of fun.
That's right. It's a hot new game on Steam.
Yeah, it's a game on Steam.
God-related merchandise of this week.
That's right. Lots of gods.
Yes, but first, let's get into some news. Pokemon has been having a time of the past few weeks leading up to their new release of Scarlet and Violet. We just found out about the newest Pokemon, Gimmighoul, also known as Gabagool around here. But Stretch, the last thing I remember is Fido, a dog you can eat like bread.
Is that the theme this time? Everybody just food? I know Gimmighoul isn't, but it's Gabagool in our hearts, so it's food.
I think the last generation also had a dragon Pokemon that was like a worm in an apple.
Yeah, so, and had like two branching evolutions, right?
Yeah, that one literally became like an apple pie dragon. It was weird.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much like they've moved on from just like, this is a dog, this is a fire dog, this is a water dog, to this is a weird little like alien looking thing that lives inside a mimic chest. And the fact that there are versions that are in the chest, in its chest form, very imaginative naming, and roaming form. So it'll be that the ones that are roaming, you'll be able to chase after in the game, and they'll drop coins. But then if you deposit a certain amount of coins into a chest form that you have been able to catch, something will happen. There was a cool little like cursed nursery rhyme that was revealed with the trailer. And Pokemon did a great job revealing this one as well, that it showed up after Community Days yesterday in Pokemon Go. And now if you pull out Pokemon Go, like all of the Pokestops will be gold, or they like fluctuate between their like gold state and a normal blue state. They give you a fuck ton of items. They give you like 10 times as many items, and they're like much rarer items as well. But there's also a chance that you can get a coin. Yeah. So they did like the reveal. They had the little roaming form show up first, and then they revealed this morning after a 24-hour secret website that like Gimmighoul is this new Pokemon. And then we know that you'll be able to catch the roaming form inside Pokemon Go only in 2023 after connectivity between Pokemon Go and Scarlet Violet launch.
So you can't catch Gabagool in Scarlet and Violet.
You can catch the chest form in Scarlet and Violet,
but not
you can't get the roaming form. So it's weird. It's like almost similar to what they did with Meltan when before Gen 8 came out. They had it so that if you transferred a Pokemon between Sword and Shield between Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Go, a box would appear and then a whole bunch of Meltan would show up. So it's like that same kind of, cross synergy that they're trying to figure out between the two things. I think it's really neat. It's a fun little scavenger hunt. It's way better than that year that they did a 24-hour live stream of a forest where you could catch brief glimpses of the Galarian Ponyta.
Right. So let me get this right. So Gabagool is a ghost. If I go to Pokemon Sleep, do I dream of Gabagool? Can I catch a Gabagool in my dream?
Still hasn't come out. So right. I don't know. We haven't heard about Pokemon Sleep since I think 2020 or 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting for it. I don't know what they're doing. I feel like this is the product that I've really been waiting for.
Right.
I hope that I will get to cuddle up in bed next to a life-size Machamp
Well, I think it's gonna the 10th gen, right? It's gonna be like Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Woke.
Okay, I want to make sure Pokemon Sleep was officially announced. That is
Yes, I know.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're all aware. Pokemon Sleep is actually a real thing.
Yeah, Pokemon Woke is not. That was just a dumb joke brought to you by TechRaptor.
But you can always brush your teeth with Pokemon in the meantime too. I don't think that will get you a Gabagool though.
Right. Well, but that's how you get the Gabagool out of your mouth.
Why?
Okay. It might give you a Grimmsnarl. That's another.
Is there a toothbrush Pokemon yet?
I don't think there's a toothbrush Pokemon. There is the teeth brushing Pokemon app though.
Yeah.
It will put a hat on you and then you'll brush your teeth. And
so what's the excitement about another of Pokemon number 12 fucking 100? Why? Who gives a fuck?
This one, going by the naming convention, is going to be Pokemon 978. I think we're finally going to breach 1,000 Pokemon, which is kind of cool.
Wait, what about the naming convention?
What
math are you doing when you say based on the naming convention?
Sorry, so that was we did know that this little roaming form was going to show up because it got data mined out of Pokemon Go, and the naming convention for its like entries and information line up with it will take up space 978 or something in the national dex.
Okay, I thought you were looking at Gimmighoul and being like, if you carry the M.
No. No, like once you dig into the data of the code and you know that like 1 through 10 are labeled like 30 through 40, and then this one is like 1,008, then you like subtract amounts and it math.
Right.
It's very simple math, but it's hidden math.
Secret math.
Yeah. So that's pretty exciting. We've got another, I think we're now 2 weeks away. This is also weird, and this is going to be me going off on like deep Pokemon tangents for a bit. We have consistently had the Pokemon games fully released or leaked or data mined for the past 3 generations, at least 2 to 3 weeks beforehand. The fact that we're where we're at now is like uncharted territory. The main issue with Gen 6 was that, like street date being broken has been pretty normal. Gen 6, when they released the Pokemon X and Pokemon Y demos, they left data for every single one of the new Pokemon within the demo that they released. So as soon as people data mined that, it was like, oh, well, here's everything.
Right.
But at the moment, we've got, I think, still like we've got like 15 or less new Pokemon known going into this generation, which is obviously far less than we've ever had before. And I think that there's meant to be 90 to 100 new Pokemon supposedly this generation. So it's just kind of like Brave New World, exciting.
Is it?
It's pretty exciting.
The surprise still isn't ruined.
I mean, it's just some new fucking Pokemon.
Well, yeah, but if you're someone like me who's spent time this morning figuring out that they're only 74 Pokemon away from a complete living dex, then the chance to visit new places, do new stuff in Pokemon, it's exciting.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't imagine getting excited for a new Pokemon.
Yeah, but I mean, like, think about the fun puns we might get. Like, I'll admit, some Pokemon have been pretty meh over the past like 10 years. Just like they kind of feel uninspired or lame. Fido, it has inspired me a little in terms of just like that's just a clever fucking pun and name, and like it's the perfect creature, right? And I just want to know what it evolves to, and I hope it's subwoofer or something like that. Something also very clever.
That would be
and like,
fucking great,
right? Like a bread, like dog pun, right?
No, I'm super excited. I can't wait.
I'm the old man in this scenario. I've taken and your dumb shit.
I've taken off release date. Expect there to be content on the front page for the new games before you're even awake for work. Like, yes. I'm excited.
That is how Stretch operates.
I'm happy for you.
Like, this is his God of War. Like, Otten, you and I are God of War Ragnarok. Like, that's the thing this month for Stretch. For you, it's Pokemon, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still excited for God of War, but I'm not like refreshing websites trying to like catch new information. I spent 2 hours yesterday diving into the images. Yeah, no, so I think that already the comparison of your God of War to my Pokemon is probably off.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I think I might pick up Pokemon depending on where I'm at with God of War, just because, we'll see. We'll see how maybe.
Why?
Maybe this is the one.
Why is it? Let's see. Why?
Maybe this is the one that's like, okay, this is kind of nice, and maybe
it's going back to the bad Pokemon days.
See, I have Game Freak, and like they're so scared of making full steps of iteration. To use God of War as an example, the difference between 3 and the new one is radical. No other game, I would say, has ever done such a radical glow up step forward.
I can't. Arceus kind of
glow up.
Or even Arceus, it's like if we went from the linear routes to Sword and Shield had the wild area, which was like, we're going to make a section of it open world and just things spawn and playable, but there's still mainly grass. And then Arceus is like, well, we'll do zones and everything pops up. There is no wild grass.
Yeah, open zone.
And now they're finally doing, it's open world. That where another game franchise would have the balls to, leap from complete linear pathways to an open world. Pokemon has just done it in 4 steps, which makes it more difficult to enjoy the like, wow, everything's so different. It's like, well, everything's slightly different, but it's always only slightly different.
Right.
But is it about having the courage, or is it about, hey, we can just make slight changes and people will still give us money?
Oh, and yeah, like
doing slight changes and
if you don't need to reinvent the wheel, why fucking do it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, because I haven't completed a mainline Pokemon game since I think X and Y. I don't remember which of the 2 I got, but I completed that one, I think.
My last one was Black or White. I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I didn't play Sword and Shield. Oh, no, I did finish Sun and Moon, I guess. So there's that. I didn't play Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. And then I bought Sword and Shield and was very bored of it very quickly. But maybe Violet I might pick up and see, how this is hitting me.
You schmuck. You're falling into it.
Give into it.
I don't expect to love it. I'm not going to catalog all 1,000 Pokemans. I'm not going to have a living Pokedex like Stretch. But, there is something kind of nice and mindless about Pokemon in a way where you can just kind of sit back, relax, not care about anything in it. Because all you need to do is mash A to win.
Disappointing.
As long as the first move is like tackle or anything stronger than tackle, you're probably going to win the fight. So
it's true.
Yeah.
No, they the reason why my dex is so filled, and it's not like I've just been spending the past month like feverishly collecting Pokemon or anything. They've made it so easy to move stuff forward that like I've got Pokemon from my original Ruby version that I have just like brought forward. So
just your level 100 Groudon, just
level 100 shiny Rayquaza. Thank you very much. It's a great shiny. That's a good shiny to show off. Otten's just like, oh, this fucking loser.
I'm glad that you enjoy it.
It's okay. Otten, there will be a day that both Scrappy and Rut cannot make it to the podcast, and you and I are doing Pokemon Show and Tell.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what? We could do that. I do not know where do we is it what I own on 3DS anymore? I haven't looked at it. I might have a Pokemon game, but I have no idea.
Is it too old to have Otten do a smash or pass with all of the Pokemon?
Let's do that one day. One day when we're like dry on content, we'll just load up like with all the 90 to 100 new Pokemon too.
Yeah. Yeah. Get them
well,
all.
let me tell you, Gimmighoul, smash.
Gimmighoul.
He's gonna
like
get with that gabagool.
You're a chest kind of guy.
Pretty good.
Well, let's talk about something that's very different from collecting Pokemon. Let's talk about collecting NFTs. Thanks, Square Enix.
Not as valuable as collecting Pokemon.
It's true.
Just kidding. That's too harsh. I won't say that. Too harsh.
So we've known for a while Square Enix wants to get into the NFT game, even though everyone else is like, no fucking thanks. And they've officially announced their new project, Symbiogenesis, which is the most fucking stupid.
It's a very great name.
Yeah.
Dumb shit. Like, if that would be the least surprising name to have come. Like when I heard about NFT game, like, okay, you couldn't have told me the company that made it. I would have guessed it. Like first try.
It has the same energy as like Exoprimal.
Yes.
Or like, there was another game that was announced, I think during that PlayStation Direct recently, the one where they ended it with the God of War Ragnarok thing, and it was like it was people in mechs, and it also had a very dumb name.
I don't know. That's part of what games. That's what's so great about games. It's just how fucking stupid stuff like that comes out.
Yeah, I remember it was revealed right before Stellar Blade. Synduality, that's it. Yeah, SYN duality. Yeah,
such a dumb name.
This looks like the kind of word that I would see in like my company's yearly like spreadsheet to all employees. Like, we want to not only promote biology and genesis, but we want to combine the two to create symbiogenesis.
Yes.
It's just
like dumb. It's a very corporate sounding word. You're right. Something stupid you see on a fucking PowerPoint someday.
And according to a press release, Symbiogenesis will be a quote collectible art project designed from the ground up for Web3 fans. And I don't know if they know this, but they're talking about an audience of literally 0.
Yes. I was trying to find it because right before we started recording, I was looking through Twitter. I saw this yesterday or the day before of somebody posted there was some NFT convention or event, like they're hosting a bunch of talks about NFTs and stuff, and it was just a bunch of speakers standing up on stage doing their presentation to empty rooms.
All those Web3 fans.
This is in like New York City, so it's not like there wasn't people around to go.
It's not like rural Alabama where you would say there's Web3 and they said, well, we'll just hit him with a broom.
I love it. Nobody wants it. It's dumb. It's over it.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I wish I could find the pictures.
It's NFTs are like stocks. Like, they've been built up on their own hype, but just with nothing behind them.
Yeah, at least with stocks, there's actually a company attached to that name. Here, there's nothing.
Like, oh, well, you've got to get them because everyone's talking about them. Is everyone talking about them? It's like, oh yeah, no, I asked all of the people on the Web3 Discord I'm a part of, and all of them are really fucking excited.
Yeah. Exactly. And hey, just like Twitter, none of them are bots.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
And soon
I'm gonna be really disappointed if we get rid of bots.
Get rid of bots. There's going to be verified bots.
Oh god, I hate it.
So get this shit, according to that press release, right? So it's going to be a, quote, self-contained world in which all characters can be collected, quote, as digital art, right? And the story of the game, as you're running through the story, you're trying to untangle a mystery that revolves around, quote, the monopolization and distribution of resources.
What?
Huh.
NFT, you have to collect NFTs to unravel the mystery around the monopolization and distribution of resources.
Somebody who's a creative was told, this is your project now, and they're like, all right, I'm making this some meta fucking story about the commentary what this stupid fucking game's about.
Yeah, like the end of the game is going to be like, it turns out the NFTs was the shit we made along the way. It's like the whole point of this game is going to be to destroy the idea of NFTs.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what if that's it? What if it's actually like a therapy thing that like the NFT bros get through the whole thing, and then the main character turns and like looks at the camera, is like, you don't fucking need them.
Yeah. He just deletes them.
And then the rest of it is like press X to delete your NFTs, and then they just throw them in a trash pit.
Wow, I didn't know Yoko Taro was working on this.
Do you get to pick one that it becomes the image at the end of the game somewhere that they pan to, and then that's your NFT,
and it flies away on the wind.
I really like that you said in that press release that like, oh, this is a self-contained experience. I thought the whole purpose of NFTs was that you could, like, you know, the end goal is you're meant to be able to take them with you wherever. It feels like the one big selling point for NFTs is not there.
Yeah.
Do you think, but just by the name, that like it's gonna have some kind of connection with like Final Fantasy 16 and whatever the next games are? Like it's the connect, it's the glue that holds the whole thing together.
This is the Symbiogenesis.
That's what I'm saying.
Of Square Enix.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Like, there's gonna be a Kingdom Hearts 4 world where you can go and meet all your NFTs that you collected from Symbiogenesis.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
like that's what these are. Like they will show up in other Square Enix games, and this is how.
Well,
I actually want this now. Let's go.
That would if they needed to if they had to be around to interface with another game, then wouldn't they need to be wholly unique? Or I guess no, you can still like buy parts of a unit. NFTs are garbage.
They are.
I love it. I'm in for it now. The idea that I had is what it is, I'm all for it. It won't be. It's going to be its own self-contained piece of shit, but
it'll be one of those NFT things that comes out and you're like, well, why was this NFT anything? Like, there are so many projects that are NFT projects that don't rely on NFT technology at all. But tell you what, if they didn't have that flashy buzzword, we would have never heard about that.
And like so many of these that are like, oh, you collect NFTs along the way. It's like, it's the same piece of art, but we changed the color code.
Yeah. I mean, NFTs are just gotcha with extra steps. Like,
yes,
it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah.
Exactly what they are.
So I can't wait to load up my NFT. I guess characters that's what I'm assuming here is like you
wait, is this like
collect
slavery?
Characters? You own them as NFTs, yeah. You're
owning people.
Well, characters.
Yeah, I don't think that they count as people just yet.
Wow. Who's the racist now?
No,
let's just clip that part with no context.
No, because they're not sentient. They're not sentient. They are just characters in a game.
So I think you need to get out of the South.
If you purchase hey, what's the next story, Scrappy?
Well, the next story is that Symbiogenesis is coming next year, spring next year, and it's going to be a browser service. You can load it up. We can load it up in the side alongside Kitten's game to collect all of our NFTs, and we'll all have a very happy, good time. Next up, coming from Japan, PSVR 2 is a thing. We've known about it for a bit. We've seen the specs. They're good specs, and it feels good and nice to see it. And it is going to be $549.99 to buy just the VR machine part of it, and then $50 for the charging station for the controllers, and then $500 for the PlayStation 5 that you probably don't have because they're still really hard to come across. And then who knows how much for one of the 11 or 12 games that they've announced for it. It's a bit of a hefty price. If you already have a gaming PC, you could probably spend just a couple bucks more to get a Vive, I think, if that math's out right.
An index, even.
Yeah. So PSVR 2, it's more expensive than the console it's going to be on.
I'm bummed because I remember talking about it.
That depends what region you're in, right? Because the PS5 also had that price hike in certain regions.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's true.
So it's already like difficult to get. The price has now gone up, or I guess like stocks are meant to be back, but also double the cost of that if you want to get PSVR 2.
It's a bummer because it seemed like a really good all right, this might be because they've had a chance to work some kinks out, and the PS5 is a little more powerful. Might be like one of the go-to easy to use VR things where it's just plug and play, not the other ones where if you are getting for PC you have to figure all that bullshit out, and this you just plug it into your console and you're good to go. But yeah, that price is that's really hard to swallow. I was reading more about it, and I guess if you count for inflation now, especially now, it is basically the same price as the first one when it came out, weirdly.
Yeah, makes sense.
Inflation's been a bitch. Still, that's just like, boy, you're asking me to spend more than the call. I've spent over $1,000 and I don't have a game to play yet.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
No, that's not true. You have Astrobot's Playroom. How dare you forget about them? Well, no, but if you...
That's what I mean, about a VR game.
Yeah, if you buy a PS5 and the PSVR and no games, you at least have Astrobot's Playroom.
What really kills it for me is the no backwards compatibility with the previous PSVR games. That's like if those were compatible, it'd be like, okay, this is shit, but it's not as bad as it could be, I guess. But
I'm pretty shocked that like of like the VR killer apps, there was no Beat Saber mention.
Yeah.
And that there was no Half-Life Alyx mention.
That's a big surprise. I wonder if they're still working that out.
Yeah, maybe, or it just feels like, you know, that is the VR at the moment. That's the one proper game, and it's just like it's stuck. It's stuck.
The games we know about right now is that Horizon Call of the Mountain VR experience that was already announced like months ago.
Yeah, it was forever ago.
And then at this event, they announced / confirmed 11 new games that will be coming. The Dark Pictures Switchback VR, Crossfire Sierra Squad, The Light Brigade, Cities VR Enhanced Edition, Cosmonious High, Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue, Jurassic World Aftermath Collection, Pistol Whip VR, Zenith The Last City, After the Fall, and Tentacular. So, yeah. I mean, some of those games, they've already been out or they've already known about them. And it's just and it's coming to PSVR 2 as well. Others are brand new, like the Dark Pictures and Crossfire, like Crossfire.
I mean, if the Dark Pictures is going to be anything like the last one that Supermassive did, that was when they did the Until Dawn VR game that was an on-rails shooter.
Yeah.
Which is just
boring as hell.
Yeah, it's just not the vibe. Like it was an on-rail shooter where they also played a few cutscenes from the original game. It's just a weird eclectic mix of VR that kind of still shows that VR doesn't know what VR is doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why there isn't. I really hope this is probably in the works, but like. Imagine Gran Turismo 7 with VR.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's such an easy, like you're already sitting down, just strap on the headset.
Yeah, has there been any confirmation for like a theater mode in it or anything?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Okay.
Same. But this is all coming out February 22nd, I believe, and you can pre-order starting next week, next Tuesday. You can throw out your pre-orders if you have $550 to spend, not on rent.
Or going into holiday season.
Yeah, fuck my friends. I want to spend $550 on me. So, you know, if that's your thing, if you are interested to see what Sony can bring to the VR market,
you could have 20 of your closest friends get together, $25 each, and they could all.
That's right. You can all share it.
Pitch into
It's a timeshare. It's a PSVR 2 timeshare.
Oh god, yeah, you're gonna need it. Fuck.
I don't know. Yeah. It sucks because like the hardware itself is probably actually going to be pretty cool. Just all the stuff around it just sucks.
And I imagine
real.
Yeah, I imagine too it might run into the same issues as the PS5 in terms of like it's going to be hard to get one, not just because of the price, but because like after a week it's sold out, and then you're waiting, and then you have to scrounge. Yeah. I mean, I am interested to see it. Like I think my problem with PSVR 2 right now is I'm excited about the idea of it. I'm not excited about almost any of the software for it. Like maybe the Horizon thing, and I think Resident Evil 8 or Village has been confirmed, right, for VR 2. But
I'm not sure, but the Horizon is neat and all, but it's like, I mean, okay.
Yeah, like honestly, I feel like that should. I guess I don't know the scope of it, but it feels like something that could have been a tech demo or like a build, like bundle it in.
Something they need a bundle game big time.
Yeah, it's like $550. Like you need something in there, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can buy it with Horizon as a bundle. It's just that's $600.
Yeah. Just pay more.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a good bundle. Yeah, this is just more in Sony just being super expensive, being the Apple of the gaming
but
space.
It's like also I'm not in the VR space, so for a lot of people this might just be pretty normal because like PSVR original, it sold okay. It sold like 3 million or something, or 4, like more than you'd think. And I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this does pretty well, because I think VR stuff's not covered super well, and it's kind of a quietly just doing its own thing kind of market. So maybe this is going to be right in line with the people that are way into it or interested, and they'll be like, all right,
yeah,
sounds good to me.
I mean, lest we forget that the Oculus Rift 2 or the Quest 2 kind of broke the market in terms of how cheap it was. Like it's scary how cheap it was. And then I mean they recently bumped up the price by $100, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you can use that as your benchmark for like the cost to entry for VR, like a VR experience. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Quest 2 is a decent machine, especially for the price. But then if you want something like hefty and some quote unquote real VR experience, you're looking at like $600, $700, $800, $900 at least, and that's outside of having a machine that's beefy enough.
So if with all things considered, this is probably still the cheaper way to get a pretty good VR experience, most likely. Because if you want to have a good VR experience on PC, like you're saying, you have to have a pretty good PC to do it, and that's way more than a PS5.
And that's already you're looking at what, $1,500 maybe.
Yeah, for like just the video cards, the price of a fucking PS5 right now. Well, actually, they've gone down quite a bit, but still, like they're still up there.
You want to buy a 4090 that'll commit Sudoku on itself in 2 weeks for 1.5K.
And then you need to buy a case big enough to hold it. The thing is like bigger than a fucking PlayStation.
It's
crazy.
Unreal.
Yeah.
I've seen it attached to like the little ITX boards. And it looks like a graphics card wearing a backpack.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess, PSVR 2 could be like a good entry point, especially for people who already have a PS5, right? Like, you're looking at $550 or $1,000 for a Vive. I mean,
there's something to be said for you just plug it in and you're done. You're not having to figure anything else out. It's figured out for you.
Right. And it beats the PSVR 1 where you needed to plug a box into your PS4 and then plug your PSVR into the box and the PS5 or the PS4. And then also having a PlayStation camera, if I remember right.
Yeah, you needed to have the PlayStation camera and the Move controllers if you wanted to do the Move stuff.
Right. So, I mean, considering it's all in one, it's not bad.
Absolutely, it's too expensive, but there's definitely going to be a market for it. And if it'd been, I don't know, just a little bit cheaper, it'd be something more to consider. But it's still too much.
Right.
Personally,
directly contrast that with Sony's competitors, Microsoft. They're selling their Xboxes at a loss. I mean, we've known that. I mean, that's just kind of how the market goes. But Phil Spencer's revealed that Series X's are being sold at $200. Like they're losing $200 per Series X sold, and per Series S losing $100. Just also pretty crazy.
That's pretty nuts. Be curious to know historically what because basically every console's ever has been sold at a loss. So be curious to know what those numbers are for previous ones. Because $200 seems like quite a lot per console. Like that's unit. A big chunk.
Yeah.
Like how many? That's what a couple years of Game Pass.
Yeah.
But a lot of this was also, so in line. This is exactly why, whenever a new console generation gets announced, and you see stuff like Linus Tech Tips being like, we're going to try to build a PC that matches the specs of the Xbox Series X. And it's like, oh, wow, it cost us $900 to build that. And it's like, well, yeah, because Microsoft is able to eat that. Sony is able to eat that. Like, I'm sure that, we've just been talking about the PSVR 2. For that to cost $550 to manufacture, that's probably got to be $700.
At least.
It's got to be,
Yeah. But yeah, there's been a kind of a big Microsoft tell-all recently, because I think Phil has just sat down to do an interview with, I think, CNBC, right? So we learned about, the Series X is being sold at a loss, like a big loss. And we know that Game Pass itself is actually profitable, which is pretty cool to hear. Like, the subscription service model is working for a big gaming, like, industry.
And I think that number is really cool to hear. And it's very funny, like going onto forums and stuff where they're like, Game Pass will have a price hike because it's just unsustainable, the armchair CEOs. But more than likely, this Xbox Game Pass being profitable isn't being entirely genuine, because if they're looking at like the Game Pass department, the Game Pass, like that vertical, they're looking at the ins and outs of the specific for Game Pass deals, or how much people are paying for it or underpaying for it, using the ways around it. But the value to Game Pass gets increased when Xbox Game Studios publishes something over here. So it's not like they would be factoring in the price of.
It's got to be hard.
Yeah, Activision the Activision acquisition. Try saying that 5 times fast.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, Halo being released. Not that probably does much nowadays.
Yeah, it's just any first party thing that comes out on there. Like, what portion of that is technically, Game Pass or whatever for
like it must be hard to like factor all of that in, right? Because I mean, you can't just say like, oh, 60,000 people played like Halo Infinite day one, that's 60,000 times $60 we've lost. Like I don't think that math doesn't quite check out, right?
Math.
Yeah.
God, I wasn't even thinking about how they would like be looking at the profitability of a game when it's like physically sold this much, digitally sold this much has gone through like code resellers, and then this much has been, playing it via Game Pass, and then you add in like, purchased via Game Pass, which is a flat 20% discount. The accountants are probably spinning over there.
Right.
It's got to be, I'm sure the number that matters most, just how much money is it alone making on a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's because it's impossible to factor in how much what's the true cost of them to give Game Pass as a service. That's got to be an impossible number to figure out.
Right. And even then, if you're trying to like do a cost per time analysis, right? Like if someone did, let's say, for example, purchase a month of Game Pass just to play one game, there's a high likelihood they didn't just play that one game. Because you can just load up Game Pass and see like, oh, hey, that other game I've been wanting to check out's there too, right? But then, so what are you saying, that they got Halo Infinite and another game for $7 a piece? Like that? Yeah, that doesn't really make sense either.
Yeah,
right?
Like if you want to get Game Pass, just to play Tunic because it's a third of the price of buying the game outright, then you're suddenly opened up to the plethora of other content on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this also, knowing that Microsoft is losing 200 per console, then that puts into perspective a lot more their pushes to Samsung TVs and working with Logitech to create these streaming boxes. And I think they said in that interview somewhere that they had, for the time being, shelved their idea of like the streaming box. And I think you could even see it like way high up on a shelf behind Phil, as he is wont to do.
Yeah.
But that's also like, okay, well, these are definitely things that are going to make more sense when it's like, well, if streaming is in a good enough, compatible enough state for people to not care about it as much, then they're not even having to eat as many console costs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that'll be the big thing for them, right? Is eventually when it gets to a point where you can market to people and they don't have to buy that $200, $300 machine up front.
Just like, hey, you have a Amazon Fire Stick and an Xbox controller. Here's Halo. Here's Pentiment. Here's Starfield. How much more by the time that Starfield comes out in a year and 5 days?
Are you counting?
Well, I just looked down and I was like, oh, as we're recording 11/6, so 11/11.
Yeah.
if we're
pushed to 11/11 next year.
No, I think they pushed it just to
But I was like,
2023, right? Like,
sorry, yeah. Was it meant
generally,
to be?
it was supposed to be coming out in 5 days. Is when it was originally.
It was supposed to come out in 5 days.
Yeah, originally.
Well,
they're just putting the finishing touches on those 1,000
right.
planets. You know?
Then this won't work for my
Individualizing
analogy. But like a year from now, how different is the landscape going to look for the people who might not be happy that Call of Duty may not be coming to PlayStation going forward, kind of thing. It's like, well, if I can just play it anywhere, then
Yeah, it's just it's interesting contrasting the two major players in the gaming space right now, right? Like Sony is the big upfront cost for our premium experiences, and then Xbox is all about lowering the cost as much as possible to get you in the door and stay in their ecosystem, you know?
And definitely past that, you've got to look at what they're handing you as well, because Microsoft's track record is not looking great right now.
No, even are you talking about like for their first party stuff?
Software?
Or,
Yeah,
because even Phil was saying that he's like, "Whew, been a while since we've done." I'm like
since
and
we
then
had
there
a
was
game.
I can't remember who it was. One of the lead guys on Halo was like, "Yeah, it's like we tripped at the finish line."
Yeah, we tripped it was like a runner sprinting to the end and tripping at the finish line. Yeah,
and it was Infinite, which I think that's very apt. It was like, boy, Halo Infinite should have been nothing but a home run, and it's been such a disappointment, which is a bummer.
And they even delayed it, right? Like a year, and it still wasn't quite a slam dunk.
I can't even imagine what it would have been like if they'd released it.
Well, and also
there's a launch.
That they've since done weird stuff like, we're gonna like legitimately cancel local co-op, and then people figured out how to enable it, like through doing certain fucky stuff on the menus, and it runs great on the Series X console, on the Series consoles at least. It does not run well on the Xbox One, but you could just say, hey, it doesn't work on this.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot that right now my favorite first-party Xbox experience so far has been Forza Horizon 5. It's a competent and very great game, but I'm saying that after a Halo game came out. Like,
they really haven't had much except those, really, in terms of big name stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we know Fable is coming up.
We know of a bunch of stuff that's supposedly coming in the future at some point, but that's kind of it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was kind of like even 4 years ago, it was like, well, we know stuff is coming, and then just none of that stuff has really hit the mark where it should have. No. So we're gonna keep knowing stuff is coming, but we'll
seemingly the stuff they have coming seems neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I will be
Dark Fable.
Yeah, I will be praying for those games, but for now I'm gonna need the help of my favorite book, Holy Bible.
Oh boy.
The good book.
But Scrappy, where can I find this holy book of yours?
Yeah, where can I get my hands on it?
So Valve has been so kind to create a storefront called Steam, and on Steam right now, well, not right now,
I believe we all are.
It comes out sometime this month. November 22 is the planned release date for The Bible, which is coming out to Steam in a kinetic model form or kinetic novel form, so you can load it up and go to whatever book you'd like, one of the
kinetic
66
novel
books.
What a name.
Yeah, and then load up whatever verse you want and read it out loud. And I have watched the trailer that's on Steam, and it is all fully voiced.
Oh, beautiful.
By God himself, I guess.
Wow. How'd they land him?
I hear he's busy.
Not a cheap contract, I've heard.
Oh no. And this is being developed and published by Bible Games, which I love because that name is just like, what are we going to call ourselves? We're doing the Bible. Let's just call ourselves, like, fuck it, Bible Games. It's so funny.
They didn't learn, or I guess I haven't looked at it too much, but they had needed to prepare and be like, all right, you get here's part of the Old Testament. You want the Book of Judges? That's DLC, baby. You want you know what I mean? We'll give you three of the Gospels, but the fourth one, John, which is weird anyway, you got to pay for that one, DLC.
Right. Yeah, it's just so fun. Like, my favorite thing is that the Bible is, according to the Guinness World Records, it's the best-selling book ever. Like, literally
easy.
Billions. Yeah, it's been around for literally millennia.
I bet that
glad.
Vatican City also does that as like a shelf corporation game.
Yeah.
Like it's all within the same bubble, but it's like these guys are making it all, and then these people are all purchasing it, and then these purchasers are then selling it to distributors. But it's like, but you're all owned by the same massive corporation.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just so glad that the world's best-selling book is finally accessible to the gamers.
That's right.
After so many years, so many centuries, the gamers finally have won and can see the light of God.
Gamers can maybe, have some of that stink washed off of them.
Cleanliness, right?
That's right.
Right next to godliness.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I want to know how much it's going to cost. Like, what are they pricing the Bible at?
It's got a trivia game in it. You can do trivia.
Does.
Well, yeah, the fact that they've got trivia and full voice acting, it's like, they haven't just copy pasted off any of the other free entire transcriptions of the Bible because that thing is fucking like out of copyright or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're going to have different versions. Like this is the King James Bible, DLC for,
maybe like the different translations.
Yeah, different translation.
Maybe.
That'd be interesting.
We'll be sure to keep you all informed as to this great situation.
What are the Steam achievements like?
Oh, I wonder.
This is the only game ever I've been interested in achievements.
Would you platinum this game?
Be like,
no.
Oh, brother, pick between Cain or Abel.
Okay, deadass. I don't know enough about achievements I don't know where to go to see if there even are achievements. Does that make sense?
I don't see actually what you did there. View the concept art for biblically accurate angels.
It's horror stories.
Play a total combined have a total combined playtime of 40 days. If Moses can do it, so can you. Oh no, he was 40 years. Fuck.
Right. I'm looking at the community page, the Steam community page for it right now. And there are only 2 comments on it. One, I never thought I wanted this, but great. This just might be the easiest way to read the scriptures on a Steam Deck, which is great to see some Steam Deck representation in our.
That's bullshit. It's got a web browser. That's going to be the easiest way to do it.
I mean, I don't know. The web browser is kind of weird to use in Steam. If I can just open up a .exe and just read the Bible right there, that'd be pretty pro.
Pretty good.
And the other thing, is this like some secret comedy game, or did you guys just actually put the Bible on Steam? Weird place to digitally put a Bible if you're all dead serious.
What if it's a creepypasta?
That would be great.
Oh, you mean this might not actually be the Bible?
Yeah, what if it's one of those like cool games that you end up like hearing about a month after they release because Matt Pat's released a video of them, and it's just like, oh yeah, like if you go to this page and you correct these numbers and type in this phrase, then it takes you to a racing game where you need to race the Ark to stop the moon from hatching, right? And it's just like.
I think the big tip off is going to be you buy this game and you start downloading it, and it's like 40 gigabytes.
It's just it gets you to different puzzle like stuff where you're trying to figure shit out. Like it just says sacrifice your firstborn, and it's like, what does that want you to do?
Send a video of you doing that to us, and then we will unlock the next part of the game.
You go into the game files and you find Monica there for some reason.
So this is the Bible, the ARG.
Oh, I'm gonna be so sad if this is just the Bible now. This is gonna be a day one purchase for me. Fuck. Damn it.
It is just gonna be the Bible though.
It probably will just be the Bible.
But it could be something cooler.
Yeah. And I want to be clear to our listeners. This isn't us trying to evangelize you. This is just a very fucking funny story. The fucking Bible is going to be on Steam.
The Bible's a game now on Steam.
Yes.
You need. It's recommended that you have 4 gigs of available space.
Wow.
That's probably audio. It's all the audio.
Yeah, I guess.
Audio takes a lot of space.
It can. Yeah. Shame.
Sorry.
Brat.
Oh, are you trying to move on to our game? Do you want to talk about Marvel Snap?
And we're going to talk about this next game, if you'd like to.
Oh, man. Why is it Snap on the Switch?
Well,
So
the
that'd
port
probably
would be really hard.
fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be super difficult.
What would be
But
hard?
I think porting it to the Switch.
Yeah.
But you two have been playing a lot more Marvel Snap since we last talked about it, right?
I've played. Let me tell you what I think we said. What the green level collection level was last time. I'll tell you what it is now. Let me load it real fast.
I think you said it was like low 30s.
Yeah, mine's gone from
anymore.
Low 30s into 60s or 70s.
Oh, I don't want to say now.
Is it higher than Ruts? Because the Ruts last time wasn't it like 200 something or something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
300 Auden? Are you?
No, it's at 231.
Okay, so you were at where Rut was last week, I think.
231. So I've played more. Boy, does this get a lot less satisfying when you don't have any missions or chapters to get done for the season pass. It's like everything comes to a standstill.
You've done your dailies.
Yeah, it's like, boy, I'm not getting any new cards anymore, I guess, or new anything, I guess. And then you get to a certain point where, like, when you do the collection level, it was like 2 spots in between. Like, you'd get 2 collection levels, you'd get the next thing, whether it was a card or whatever the hell. Now it's 4, so they doubled that. So it takes more to get up there once you get to like 200
but also
something.
At the stage you're at now, don't you earn more points for upgrading cards?
I mean, theoretically, if you have the credits to do it, but I don't have credits.
Is credits
I'm not purchasing them.
Is credits V-Bucks? Is that the currency?
There's 2 currencies. There's credits and gold. You could buy either. Well, I mean, you can buy gold with money, and you use the gold to buy credits if you want.
Gotcha.
But I mean, if you're at the point in the game where you've already finished the battle pass, that's the part that you can just put it down and wait for the next banner, right?
Well, yes and no, because like you have. Well, I guess what you can work up now is the I don't know what this is called in this your ranking for like the bronze and silver and gold bullshit. That you can work on because you go up to certain ranks in that and you gain stuff, I guess, if you want. I don't know. But anyway, that's not really what I want to talk about. I don't remember how wide we got on that.
What do you want to talk about?
The season pass. So I guess I was under the impression that there are certain cards in here that you can only get if you have the season pass, and that it means purchasing the premium, because you can work through the season pass, but like every other fucking step is locked behind the premium version you have to pay for. So there's a bunch of stuff you won't get unless you pay $10, whatever the hell it is.
Right.
Yeah, $10. But apparently, so the unique cards that are in it, because there are absolutely some cards that you can't get except in this season pass. I guess you can get them later, like they're going to come out. I don't know if they're going to be along that collection path or how that means you get them later, so you're not gated from them forever, but it's like several months from now or something like that. Oh, that's kind of lame.
Yeah,
if it was just cosmetics, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that.
I think with a well-defined path for how you can get them in the future, it's okay. It's not like they're putting it into a vault to say like...
Yeah, I just wonder where it shows up, because like they have this shop where like, they'll have variants, which are like skins that you daily that come up. But there's nowhere to buy cards that, like, say you missed out on X card in this previous season pass. Here you can buy it here now. Like, are they just like, we're going to add it onto this collection level, which, that might take you
weeks,
200 or 300 levels from now. All right, I finally got up to where I can get Spider-Man now. Yeah, like.
So you're saying that there's like kind of a pay-to-win model here, where if you pay, you can get possibly better cards that people who don't pay
potentially. Yeah, you definitely get them much sooner. I guess there's a way to get them in later. I don't know what that is. And what later seems like, if you're going to go the I don't want to pay anything route and just I'll be playing it regularly or whatever, it seems like it would be pretty difficult and very, very time consuming, which is not, I mean, we're talking about a fucking free to play game. It's not unusual.
Yeah, that's
but I felt the need to talk about it more after we're like, hey, these microtransactions and stuff, this seems pretty good last week. And now I'm like, no, this kind of seems like everywhere else everybody does.
Okay, now. So they kind of suck, or at least they're mid.
They're not nearly as good. The fact that there are cards that you cannot use until at some undetermined time in the future that I don't know, and I don't even know how to get them. That kind of blows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't see how you get excited over a new Pokemon. Sorry, Snap card.
Can't. I'm not excited over it.
But don't.
You know what? I would totally own that if that made any sense. But
you're just lamenting the fact that you're missing out on collecting stuff.
Not even collecting. So it's my big problem with I'm probably not going to play Snap much longer, because one of my most annoying fucking things is like when people have cards that I cannot get unless I pay for or whatever it is. So that's why I never got into like playing Magic or anything like that, because the idea that I just don't have the thing is so fucking annoying to me. Or whatever it is, like the idea of constantly having to chase the cards to just be relevant, quote unquote, to have decks that are relevant now is just it's so insane.
You don't want to like chase a meta or anything,
right?
Yeah, it's kind of that's why like Hearthstone, like it was fun the first, like I remember playing it when it came out. I was like, oh, this is fun, but as soon as it was like, there's too much to keep up with. Screw that. And then there's just certain RNG stuff that always pisses me off. That's just not. There's literally nothing I can do if it doesn't fall my way, and it's like, well, I guess that's the end of that. Like that match, like literally cannot do anything about it. But I don't know. I mean, as a pretty casual, like this, simple deck builder, it's only 20 cards. Nothing's crazy about it. It's all right. I mean, it's fun, and it's still incredibly satisfying if someone snaps and then you win. It's like, you fucking played yourself, you moron.
Yeah,
you fucking played yourself.
I feel the same way about like card games in general, in that like I like the mechanics of card games, but I don't like the whole you have to chase the meta and all that. And and that's why I love like deck builder, like video game, like a Slay the Spire, right?
That's what I like. I like Slay the Spire.
Yeah, because Slay the Spire, you don't have to pay more money or open more boosters to get a thing. Like it's a run, and like just all the choices you make in the run determine your deck, etc.
Yep.
That actually does make me think, because I was recently chatting with Richard Garfield, one of the creator of Magic the Gathering. And kind of express this exact same thought that you guys are talking about, the idea of like chasing a meta, or trying to get cards to build for a specific purpose that would then be like, it allows you to play the deck correctly, and it stops feeling like you're the one playing the game, and it starts feeling like the game is playing you.
It's like a lottery, and so like even with like packs, like, boy, I hope I get that one card I need to make this deck work or whatever. Oh, I didn't get it. Oops. That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I went to a Magic draft night once, and I like that format because it's like everyone's starting from zero, so at least it feels a little bit more like luck of the draw isn't as big of a deal, right? Because it's not like you're going up against someone who spent like months like perfecting that deck, and they've been opening so many boosters throughout the time and all that, right? Yeah. So Marvel Snap, you think you're dropping it at some point soon?
I don't know when, but I'm sure it will. I mean, I enjoy playing. It's quick. The thing that the matches are quick and you can get through it real fast is part of the appeal of it right now. Because like Hearthstone's like 10 turns, but like every turn gets, I wouldn't say exponentially, but it adds a lot more onto it because there's just more you can do. So every turn adds to the time. And I think that they've kind of hit a nice sweet spot with this 6-turn format that they're doing, where it's nice bite-sized games to get through.
It's a nice toilet game. I've been playing something that isn't quite a toilet game at all. So as you all know, that big indie gem God of War Ragnarok is coming out this week. And I've been pretty excited for it. So, I mean, earlier this year, I started playing God of War 2018. I started a New Game Plus run. And in the past 2 weeks, I've been like finishing that up. And I just ran credits last night. Man, hey, God of War 2018 is a good... Did you guys know it's a good game?
It's a good fucking game.
It's a good video game. It fucking slaps, dude.
I wonder how this is going to affect you with Ragnarok, because one of the bigger criticisms I've heard of it is it's just And this, I guess, I don't even know if it's fair to call it criticism. It's just like they don't do it. It's pretty the same in a way. Like you're just getting more of the same. Like it's that combat or whatever that you just went through. You're like, boy, I'm not a lot different here. I don't know.
Honestly, I am excited for that only because there definitely is that how to phrase this. Like when you beat God of War 2018, like the last few hours of the game, like you're fucking like powerful, and like the enemies are stronger too, but you have so many tools and combos and strength and all that, right? And then I was coming back in like I don't remember how to play this game. So when I got in the new game plus, I have all these tools and shit, and the enemies are stronger. And I, for some reason, chose hard mode, and I was like, okay, this is a little tough. Like this is starting to feel like the Dark Souls of God of War or whatever. So you know, there was like it was a lot to like get back in the saddle of, and there was a lot. Like by the end of it, of course, I was totally fine, right? But it was a lot very hectic, and I think it'd be nice to kind of start from the beginning and kind of, you know, start all over, like clean slate, unlock everything slowly over time. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
You do the old, oh no, all of my equipment was stolen between now and between the end of the last game and the start of this one.
Okay, I believe that with the Chaos Blades, with the axe, he can just, you know, he just presses triangle and it comes back to him, right?
It's gonna be one of those. Oh, we swam in that river. Too bad the current was so much and it ripped off all my armor and equipment.
Yeah,
I have to start over.
Yeah, I honestly do hope you start with the Chaos Blades though. Again, just
I would think you would.
Yeah,
because it was it was a pretty good story reason why you didn't have them until you got them.
Yeah, I guess we should also say that none of us on this panel today have played Ragnarok.
So we don't know. Like we can't spoil Ragnarok because we don't know how to spoil
anything
Ragnarok.
that we say is 100%.
Yes.
Based on trailers.
The Tom Hiddleston cameo as Loki was pretty wild.
Loki. For sure.
There might Cinematic Universe.
There might be spoilers in this for God of War 2018 though, so if that's gonna
well, I mean, mentioning the Chaos Blades is kind of spoilery. That was
a little bit. But, so I guess a little late warning for you there.
I mean, it's 4 years ago now. I don't care.
What pantheon do you want to have Kratos hit next?
Egypt, baby.
Egypt would be cool. Or like East Asian somewhere, like Chinese would be cool.
Egypt, or I've started to read more about like Irish. They have like a crazy history there that I didn't really know much about. I still don't know that much, but I was like, whoa, there's like wild stuff going on.
Right.
I kind of want to see like either probably like India, because that shit's like
there's like an infinite amount of gods to deal with.
Yeah.
Or Christianity. I think Christianity would be very interesting.
It's the Kratos Bayonetta crossover we all wanted, right?
Maybe the Bible releasing on Steam is Sony Santa Monica doing some research.
Shit. You get to the final page and then it says, and then Kratos showed up.
Yes.
You write your own Bible.
Yeah, buy the sequel, the Bible 2 on Steam next year.
That's right. The Bible 2, Armageddon, and it's Kratos in there somehow.
Two gods, two reckoning.
Kratos is totally dying in Ragnarok, right? Is that what we were agreeing?
Yeah, I
reckon that'll be the case.
He's totally dead.
Yeah, because I didn't remember this until I beat the game again. But so you remember at the end they're at Jotunheim, right? And Atreus touches the wall and it reveals like the mom has known about their journey the whole time. Like she's known the prophecy.
Yeah.
And then Atreus says something along the lines of like, I guess we're finally at the end. And then the wind blows in a certain way that the curtain lifts up and Kratos sees on the mural, there's a shot of like him looking like he's dying in Atreus's arms. I totally forgot about that mural until seeing this. And it's like, okay, yeah.
Foreshadowing.
So either Kratos is going to die or they're going to somehow break the prophecy and he's going to like
do a fake out.
Yeah.
So, they're going to break the prophecy and then he's just going to die a different way.
Maybe.
And sacrifice
He'll die and then he'll see he'll see the mom and she'll be like, no, you need to go back to continue being a good father. Yeah. And then she'll do some magic and push him back into his body.
He turns fully into Loki and kills Kratos on his path to being a villain.
He meets up with Hades.
Yeah.
Odin paid Atreus off and promised he'd bring his mom back to life. So he betrays Kratos. He's, I always loved my mom. You're not my real dad. And then Kratos dies. Atreus'
And then
hands.
Jerry Springer
That's what it's
comes
really
out,
showing. Is it showing Atreus
Odin's
cradling
asking
him?
for a paternity test,
Yes.
and
It's trying to make sure, right? Yeah. This is God of War Ragnarok on TLC.
I mean, if you know the stories of Odin, he would be a very good Jerry Springer guest based on what he's done.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
He's done a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of an asshole. Like people are like, oh, Odin, and because they think of like Anthony Hopkins and stuff. It's like, no, Odin was a piece of shit in Norse mythology. Like he was nothing but just a bastard to everybody.
Same with Thor, kind of. Thor is a total asshole. Like he's not the funny Chris Hemsworth. No,
like if people actually look at Norse mythology, like the gods fucking blow. Like even like Freya in God of War is like she's like, yeah, I know you got a big deal with gods. She's like, I get it. Like they suck. Like she got fucked by Odin too. Like totally hard, cursed and all. Yeah.
Like I think I'm really glad that I have replayed it just because it's been a while since I've beaten it. Like I didn't beat it since 2018, right? Like so it's been a while. It's been nice to have a refresher and like.
Thought about doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you have time. You have 24 hours or so.
Well, no.
But it's just crazy how good the acting is. I know we're rehashing 4-year-old discourse here, but man, it's such a great game.
It's a good game.
Yeah, and like the scene at the end where Kratos kills Baldur, and like I had forgotten that Baldur was choking out Freya, and like Kratos interrupts, and it's like the cycle ends here.
Not just choking out Freya, but she was telling him to kill her.
Yeah, like if that's what makes you happy, kill me, right?
Yes, kill me.
Yeah, it's like the love of a parent, and there's so much there that it's easy to forget and miss it all through the spectacle of like, oh, the giant, and Kratos swinging his axe, and Baldur doing Super Saiyan shit and going fire and ice. Like, it's easy to be taken away with that and totally forget all the great writing and delivery of it all in between it. So I'm really glad I did refresh myself on that before going in. And I've heard that Ragnarok, it starts with like some sort of like last time on God of War. So I mean, I don't think you're going to be missing out completely if you didn't replay a 30-40 hour game.
You can find someone's 3-hour YouTube essay nitpicking every single aspect in chronological order and how those themes relate to the overall struggle of Atreus to figure out his place in the world. It's there.
Man, I am so fucking excited for
it's nice. It's nice that I'm glad you brought that up. I'm definitely looking forward to story stuff because I definitely like games more for the story than anything, and the stories in general in gaming are by far the weakest part of every game. Almost even games with good stories, like. I mean, for a game, it's a good story.
Yeah, but for a TV show, movie,
so often it's just like, okay, it's simple enough, and it's a vehicle for whatever the game is. Often, God of War was a higher step than that. I'm not going to say it was still amazing. It's good. It's enjoyable. It's good. It's very character driven. Character moments that are great. And just to bring back to Guardians of the Galaxy, that was what was so great about that to me, was that it was all very character driven and emotional kind of stuff that was happening amongst the nonsense going on around them.
Right. And timing as well. I think God of War did really well with the timing of story. There's a lot of games that might have a strong story, but when you get like a whole bunch of condensed story and then you've got to go through 2 hours of repeatedly, hitting the X button, and then you get another 5 minutes of story, and then it's another 3 hours. Like,
all just did smart stuff, like when Mimir came in and like you were just telling your stories and talking.
Mimir is
like
so fucking good
as you're traveling around. Like that was such a smart idea.
Well, and just all the dialogue that happens when you're just running down a hallway or exploring a cave, right? Like there's so much banter between the two, and I think that I was telling one of my friends about the game, like. She doesn't play games much. I was talking about like what God of War is like and how it's transformed so much from the press X to fuck game to what it is now, right? Which is such a wildly different experience. But how there are side quests. You do not need to play the side quests to beat the game. You do not need to play the side quests to roll credits. But playing through God of War, like New Game Plus, I still played all of the side quests that I could because of how much they flesh out Atreus and Kratos, right?
Yeah.
Like their father-son dynamic. I think you would truly be playing a flawed version of the game if you didn't play at least a handful of the side quests, if not most, right?
And apparently, that with what I've heard about Ragnarok is the side quests in that are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah!
So I'm so looking forward to the game. God of War just had so many good design choices that accentuate it really well. It's like it had all those great blockbuster moments that are also amazing on top of all the small, quiet moments of characters just talking about whatever.
Right.
Super excited for it.
Yeah, this is definitely already, I feel, game of the year contender.
Easy. I mean, it's gonna be split between Elden Ring and God of War this year, right?
For sure. Yeah.
And Elden Ring will probably rightfully take more of it, more than likely.
You think so?
More than likely.
I think I want to play Ragnarok first before I say anything. Because I mean, like,
I'm just guessing, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I played a lot. I played like over 100 hours of Elden Ring. Love that game to bits. But the love. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying what God of War's got going for is it's coming out now and not January.
Yeah, the recency bias. Yeah. I mean, I think the love that I'll have for the two games are going to be very different, because Elden Ring is purely about like the exploration and the gameplay challenge, right? Like I could not give two shits about the story. I don't think I could tell you the story, honestly. But then God of War is so different in that like Atreus and Kratos, right, are standing like front and center, and it's their experience. You're going to remember their story probably way beyond after you're done playing it, right? Yeah. So we will see.
I think that's one of the great things about God of War that a lot of games get wrong is that they're very plot driven, and that these characters just exist in our world. They'll interact with our world, but they're not drivers of the world a lot of the time. Stuff's happening around them, or they're reacting to what's happening around them. Where like God of War was like simply, hey, we're going fucking up the mountain, and it was all driven by what they're doing the entire time, and they just run across stuff as they do it.
Well, see, I'd argue it's a little different than that, though, because it's like, yes, the main point is they want to get up to the tallest mountain in all the realms, right? Yeah. And at first, then they bait and switch you, and it's like, oh no, Jotunheim is the tallest, so now you need to go there. It's not that summit. But then everything around there is Odin trying to fuck you up, and you don't even see him once in the whole game. Yeah. And it's been nice getting that re-getting that context, because he wants to get to Jotunheim too, so he's putting all these obstacles in your way, like Magni Modi, Baldur, right? And like Freya is also a rogue actor, kind of becoming an obstacle in a certain way, right? But all of the world is working against these two people and their goal, right? And all they want to do is just climb a mountain. Yeah. So,
but it's not like, here's the MacGuffin I got to get to save the world and I'm the impersonal. They come to Kratos' hut and like, Kratos, we need you back in. We know you're retired, but we need you. And like something, you know what I mean? Yeah, not some bullshit like that.
Well, see, it's just going to be fascinating seeing Ragnarok, because I think Ragnarok is going to be like the consequences of the entire 2018 game. Because when you come back at the end of 2018, you come back from Jotunheim, Fimbulwinter started. Right, and the dwarves like kind of imply that things you did caused it to start. So now you
done fucked up AA.
Yeah, right. This is like direct consequences of your action, right? Like you're kind of in the world.
Odin, we're going to see Odin for the first time as an actual character, not just references of what he's doing or whatever. So that will be interesting.
Yeah.
Whatever confrontation that will be. All kinds of stuff.
So basically, come back next weekend for when we're all ravenously talking about God of War.
No, next week it's going to be all God of War talk.
God of War all the time.
Yes, yeah. I think that is a wrap on this week's podcast. If you like what we did here, please feel free to leave us a review. Let us know down below in the comments. How excited are you for God of War Ragnarok? Are you going to be playing it day one, or are you an Xbot and you hate PlayStation gamers? Let us know. Comments down below.
I'm going to be playing Pentiment.
Yeah.
So am I.
Hey, yeah. See, there's good games for everyone, right?
That comes out like in over a week, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know down below. What game are you playing this week? Is it Pentiment? Is it God of War? Is it Sonic Frontiers, the true game of the year?
Don't do it.
Let us know.
Get God of War instead.
Comments down below on YouTube or on our site. Or if you are on YouTube, please subscribe to us so you always get new episodes of our show, and leave a like. It helps us out a lot. We are always publishing news, features, and reviews, etc. at TechRaptor.net. But if you want more of this show, we will be back next Monday, and we will see you then. Bye-bye.